Welcome, Isolation Nation, to the Social Distancing Social Club. I'm Ben Glebe. I'm very excited to be here. I'm 1/3 of the quarantine, and I'm about to introduce to all of you the other 2/3, because 1/3 of something, it's not great. It's like I'm 1/3 of a man. Disappointing. I'm 1/3 of what my bank account used to be. You're in serious financial trouble. You're waiting for sign checks. 1/3 is not enough. You need your other 2/3 to be a whole piece. That's enough for the math lesson today. I will turn it over to a man who's much better at math than me and much worse at hair than me. Please welcome. Everybody.
Appreciate that. I am 1/3 of what I used to be. A little worried that I'm Samson and all of my wit was in my hair. We'll find out. Also, Ben, I want you to feel comfortable, so let me just change my background right there.
Thank you, sir,
for joining us. As always,
what a
here
freeze frame on my face there. By the way, I've said this forever, and there's actually a hashtag called Glebe freeze frames. I freeze frame worse than anybody on television. It is a fact.
Make it better.
Thank you.
If you guys want to support the show, as always, you can do that in a number of ways. You can Venmo us, top right of the screen. You can also PayPal at laughfromhome.com, as well as you can super chat us in the YouTube and whatnot. And my Zoom is being a little funky, so I'll introduce the front row in a second. But for now, let me kick it over to the other of the quarantine, Mr. Chris Bowers. Everybody, Chris Bowers.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How we doing? We excited? I'm fired up. We got a great show for you today. We have two great comics. We have Sara Weinshenk. Give it up for Sara Weinshenk. Woo! And we also have Ryan Niemiller is here. Ryan Niemiller, yes. Ryan Niemiller. Thank you so much. Steve, do we have the front row figured out yet? Do you have the front row?
We do not have the front row. My Zoom software is being a little asshole. So if you wanna take care of that for me, that would be great.
We've got Katie and Jordan are here, and Daniel's muted. Angie is here. Carrie C is here. Lena's here. Tony is here. Chamber Pot Mate is here. That's fun. Richard Flores is here. We're gonna have a fun show. So thanks for being in the front row. If you want to be in the front row, go to laughfromhome.com. You can buy your tickets there. They're only $10. You can come laugh in the front row with us, because that laughter does help the show a lot. So thank you for them. Ben, what is the game for today? You have the game for today?
Thank you very much for asking me that, Christopher Bowers. I really appreciate that. Before I tell you today's game, I'd like to share some of our favorites, just a few of our favorites from the hashtag game on Twitter from overnight. As you know, yesterday it was hashtag quarantine car, and we got some pretty darn good ones. We've got Ford Must Stay Home by Razvan Mindru. We've got Toyota Corona, or is that too soon? We've got
literally choosing the two that were already in the show yesterday.
I don't think Ben watches the show. Steve, I don't think Ben watches the show. That's the problem.
I'm not a fan.
You know
of
what
the
face
show.
I'm making right now? Here's what face I'm making right now.
Also got a great bit planned for later where Chris Bowers becomes a hot dog. Got a pretty funny one from Steve Hofstetter. Honda, I am no longer fit. I enjoyed that a lot. Ben's CDC class. Also solid.
Thank you.
We're going to introduce, and we're going to be playing a brand new game today at the end of the show for the Twitter audience, and for everybody to shift onto Twitter, a brand new game today instead of repeating the same game. So we're updating that. Stay tuned. But today's game for the episode, and as you know, if you'd like to enter, please enter in the chat. We will read some of our favorites. And if you would like to be eligible for the prize, which is one copy of all 12 albums of our three hosts, the Quarantine box set, and a free ticket to the front row of our video audience. You can enter for a $5 super chat or more if you can, and we will read your answer and we will choose the best. All of our comics and celebrity guests will join us in choosing who wins. Today's one is, you'll see why it's themed in a minute, our special guest used to be a police officer, so in honor of him, our game is Best Cop Story. Your best cop story. Join us in the chat. Tell us your best cop story. Keep it short. Pretend you're tweeting, okay? Keep it short. And we only got a 90-minute show. I know that sounds long, but
Also,
keep it
can
reasonable.
I just interject real quick and say not only keep it short, but keep it not police brutality and things like that. That's not what we're going for on
Make
this.
it fun. We want your best cop story that's a fun story to tell. The one you tell your friends that makes them laugh.
Wait, we can't tell police brutality stories? What am I going to fucking talk?
Yeah. All right, let's introduce our guest.
Hey, there you go. With that, we'll introduce our special guest. He was a state trooper in Indiana for years and years and years. He's an amazing stand-up comic who's doing 3 podcasts right now in the quarantine. He's got 1041 with Todd McComas, which is a true crime about murders and stuff like that. But he's got Fun Town, just a fun podcast, and then Doc Edge, where they talk about documentaries. You can find all that stuff at toddcomedy.com. Give it up for Todd McComas, everybody. Todd McComas.
Hey, give it up for me, guys. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Yeah, also, Todd, I haven't seen you in a while. I miss you, man. And so just to make you feel comfortable, I'm just going to change my background to here
nice.
You go. Just to make sure you feel at home. You know, I know you were a cop for a while. So
I love it. You know what that photo's from? That's post search warrant. After a really good search warrant, fucking donuts and you smash dozens.
But I also want to make Bowers comfortable, so let me go back to this background. So
for that, I think you're going to need a neon sign that says hot dogs, hot dogs, hot dogs, to be honest with you.
Here, I could do this. This is the shirt.
Yes. Which, by the way, you can get a T-shirt with that logo on it at laughfromhome.com. So please check that out. Todd, one time I missed a golden opportunity it would have been the greatest postcard ever. I was driving by in Hollywood past this donut shop. It's on the corner of Hollywood and like Highland or something, or Hollywood and La Brea. And it's a corner shop. So that it said just donuts and a huge sign right on the street corner. And there was a cop motorcycle parked in front of the entrance, blocking the whole entrance, and a cop walking out, kind of heavy set, with a dozen donuts in his hand and one in his mouth. I tried to get a photo, and I missed it before he got on the bike. Who is this stereotype?
I tell you what, one time when I was a uniform trooper, I had to help this lady whose car broke down. And I was on my way back from the donut shop to the post with 4 dozen donuts for everybody. I was just sitting on a run, put her in the back of my car. We had to move donuts out of the way for her to sit there. And she was like, stereotype. And I was like,
incredible. That is awesome. Do you ever miss being a cop? How much do you miss the authority and your ability to swing that around?
I miss it a lot. Nobody listens to me anymore. When I tell them to stop doing shit, they don't pay attention to me.
Sorry to cut you off, Todd, but we're going to go to our next guest.
Queen Rachel. Yeah, we'd like to say hi to Queen Rachel. Hi, Rachel. How are you today?
Hi, I'm well, thanks. I'm not a tortilla.
You know, honestly, this is a better look for you. I think the rank of your looks is you as you, then you as a tortilla, and then Jarrett as you. That's what I
appreciate that.
Absolutely.
By the way, shout out to Dave Adler, already kicking off the Venmo, throws in $1.80 and says, "What's up? What's up, Dave? We appreciate you being
Hello,
here."
Dave. So please throw whatever you can to support this. Everybody on the show gets paid. Our guests, our comedians, and we raise money every episode for the Friendly Shoulder grant through the Martin grant that Steve set up in honor of his late father, and it raises money for comedians who are out of work, suffering from work loss due to COVID-19, which is much worse than the usual work loss most comedians suffer from on account of it's hard for us to make a living at all ever because our jobs are very stupid.
Yeah, but speaking of the Friendly Shoulder grant, huge shout out to Watch Gang. So Watch Gang this morning, hell of a morning because they donated $2,000 to the Martin Foundation to fund 2 different Friendly Shoulder grants. So nice. Shout out to Watch Gang. They're at Watch Gang on Instagram if y'all want to send some love their way. Because what happened was they were donating $1,000 and I was so moved by it and I posted about it. And then a bunch of people were like, "Hey, this is awesome." And then they were like, "Well, here's another $1,000." So I was like, holy shit. So that was amazing. By the way, this green screen does not work as well as I'd like it to. Got a fancy green screen in the office.
You just got your green screen?
I just got my green screen, and I think I need to iron it for it to work better.
Maybe also, you have to probably light it like crazy. You got to light the hell out of green screen.
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
look.
So-
All right. I
so-
could just bounce it off my head and it'll work. So.
That's
I
a
was gonna
strong
say,
idea.
Can you at least put some hair on your head? Christ, I'm tired of looking at this. What are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed yesterday. You shaved it off, Todd. It was frightening. It was
Did you lose a
terrifying.
bet? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Really?
My bet was that this would have been over by the first week of April. And so I
Oh.
lost that, and that was my plan. So I didn't rush to get a haircut when this was all happening because I was like, all right, it'll be a couple weeks. My hair will be a little shaggy. It'll be fine. But realizing now that like it was probably about 6 weeks since I gotten a haircut. I usually get them every 3 to 4 weeks, and now it's not gonna happen for a while. And look, y'all might make fun of this now. This is gonna be all of you, even Rachel. This is gonna be all of you coming up soon.
Hey, it's
I
not
just
like
got
you
ahead of the
say it.
curve, baby.
it's not like
Steve,
you
I hate to say it.
people anyway. So fuck it, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
I hate to say it, Steve, but it's already kind of growing on me. I mean, more than it's growing on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's,
So, since Steve started the Martin Grant and we're raising money for Out of Work Comics, I'm also very honored to announce today that Chris Bowers is starting the Hugh Grant, where he will blow anybody for $80 in a car.
I thought
That's
you announced
actually-
that at the end of the show. I thought that was going to be the end of the show. We announced that, Ben. That was our big
Yeah.
closer. God damn it!
That's actually
Spoiler alert.
why we brought Todd in, as a former cop. That way he can advise you on how not to get caught.
Exactly.
So,
How can you avoid
Also,
getting
that
busted
should be in
for
the price
soliciting
package.
prostitution? Yes. Todd, how
that's-
can somebody avoid getting busted for prostitution? What are your tips, please? When we get back into real life and we're not afraid to touch people, how can you avoid that pitfall?
Yeah, if it's a female, ask them to show your tits. If it's a dude proposition you, ask them to show your dick. They can't show those things to you. If they show them to you, not a cop. Have at it. Spend away. If they're leery of it, I'm done. I'm gonna change my mind.
I actually find this to be very, very useful advice. I don't even do that just with prostitutes. Like if I'm at the grocery store or the bank, or just to make sure someone's not a cop, I just walk through life being like, "Show me your dick." And then I know.
Yeah, it works for drug dealers too. If you have a coke dealer, make him show you his dick. If he shows you his dick, he's not a drug dealer. Thanks for the tip, Todd. That's a very, very good tip.
Thanks for the tip. Did you just say thanks for the tip?
Also, why do you think we call Bowers the tripod and third leg of our quarantine? It's not by accident. It's not by accident. Todd,
That's why.
on that
That's why
exact-
he's the hot dog. Can we
Exactly
go to
right.
a couple of Venmos real quick?
Great.
Because
Yeah,
let's
Lauren
do that.
Rizal threw in $20 with 2 laughing cats. Thank you very much. Amber Hagee threw in $5. Says howdy from Austin with a happy face. So very much appreciated. Thank you for the support as always. And Rachel, do we have anything coming in on YouTube?
We do. Dave Adler also gave 180 stars on Facebook and says, "Hi, everyone." We've got
Hello.
Woody Gallagher, $5. A big shout out and thank you to Illinois Governor Pritzker for finding PPE for my mental health center. We're combating this virus the best we can for our patients.
Wow,
Excellent.
nice.
Good luck with that, and thank you for doing that. If you could just not ask them to show you their dicks.
Their dicks.
Just for. I think
You're not a nurse.
Yeah.
That works with any,
Yeah.
that really works with any job. Any job where they'll show you their dick. Then, yeah.
Except a
Yeah,
comic.
it's true.
Yeah.
Nice. I think we should be ready. Let's do our first comic, and then we'll talk to Todd a bunch more after the first comic. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, let's do it.
Love it.
So Ben, can you introduce Sara for us?
Absolutely. I'm very excited about this, everybody. This comedian is a very funny human being. She's got a great podcast called Shank. She's got a great web series that we will talk about after her set. I believe it's called High Science. I could be messing that up. I might be high right now, but it's a weed-themed web series where you do experiments while stoned. And how great does that sound? It's like Mr. Wizard, but far, far better. Please give a warm social distancing social club welcome to Sara Weinshenk.
Hello.
You are
Okay,
stu-
wait.
you went from being sideways to being muted and sideways.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
A
yeah,
dream
you're still
woman in some ways.
sideways.
But
Let's
you're
do
still
it sideways. This will be the first time we do that. That'll be fun.
All right,
Fuck yeah.
let's go.
Or just turn your phone the other way. Either way.
Is this fine if I do
No,
it this
fuck
way?
it. Let's do it sideways.
Okay,
you know what?
fuck yeah.
This show is
Fuck yeah.
sideways. The set's gonna be sideways.
I'm digging it.
All right.
I'm digging it. Go.
Do you like this Carol Baskin look I have going over here? I found a cure to my insomnia recently. I downloaded a white noise app that plays the sound of parents fighting. Thank you so much. I just want to start by saying, men with ponytails, you're ruining porn. I'm not depressed, but sometimes I stand in front of my microwave just to shave off a few years. Thank you. My vibe is postpartum. But I haven't had any kids. Thank you so much. I think the Tar Pit would be a dope name for a heroin recovery center. Thank you. I feel like there probably aren't too many murder mystery dinners in Compton. I think the Tar Pit would be a dope name for a heroin recovery center. I used to think that if you had gloves in your glove compartment, you were a murderer. Now I think you're a sensible human being. I couldn't stop thinking about how weird encyclopedias were in the 90s. Like, they made no sense. Everyone was like, we're going to put a bunch of random shit that has nothing to do with each other into one book. The only thing they're going to have in common is that they all start with the same letter. Because one day somebody's going to want to study lemons and then lemurs, and this is going to be a one-stop shop. Do you know how fucked you were in the 90s if you had to do a report on O.J. Simpson and it was 96, but your Britannica collection was from 92? You'd be talking about how he killed it on the field and not how he killed his wife. I like to judge people by the type of food they consume. For example, if you're a man and you drink strawberry milk, you have a weak dick. A lot of strawberry milk drinkers in the audience tonight. What about drinking celery juice turns you into a cunt? Thank you so much. If you call your wine mommy juice, you shouldn't have had any kids. My roommate's been drinking a lot of bone broth recently, which disgusts me because bone broth sounds like the name for the wet spot on your sheets after sex. Yes. Is that 5 minutes? It's got to be.
Yeah, it's about 5 minutes. Sara Weinshenk, everybody. Sara
Hey,
Weinshenk. Yeah, of course, whose set is brought to us by Jamie Kennedy's Bone Broth, the sponsor of our program.
Yes.
Yes, which, by the way, Sara, I do think that it would be amazing if you had a like Jamie Kennedy style prank show called Shanked, where you
Yes.
just stab somebody in the prison yard, and like that's the whole. That's like you've been shanked, and then they come out and they die. Anyway, point is, tip jar is open.
That.
Tip jar is open. If you want to tip Sara, hilarious set. If you want to tip Sara, you can do so. Venmo, top right of the screen. PayPal through laughfromhome.com. You get the PayPal address on there, or of course you can throw in some Facebook stars or super chats on YouTube. And thank you for all who are supporting and doing that.
And may I just quickly suggest, Sarah, maybe now that your set's done, if you want to take your phone off the tripod and just flip it and hold it in your hand or something, if you try, just so we can see what you look like normally oriented. And while she does that, I will share the fact that O.J. Simpson actually had a prank show called Juiced years after years after his murder trial, where he literally would hop out of the bushes and scare people.
Oh my God.
No.
Literally, he would dress up like a clown and stuff and jump out of the bushes and scare people, which is like a reverse prank show because the reveal is much scarier than the prank. Be like, 100%. Oh my God, a scary clown, how shitty. And then you take up his mask and O.J. Simpson, you're like, oh my God, bring me back to the scary clown.
Be like, holy shit, it's an actual murderer. What a weird twist.
Right.
That's insane.
I have a feeling Ben knows about that. I have a feeling Ben knows about that show because he was a writer on that show. Were you not a writer on that?
I was a writer on it. Non-union gig. Sarah, your web series is called Stone Science, right? Not High Science.
It's called Stone Science, and then I have another web series on Comedy Central called Shanks for Smoking.
Oh, Shanks for Smoking. Love that.
Yeah.
Nice. By the way, some tips coming in. So shouting out some people. Corey Johnson throwing $50 on the Venmo. Much appreciated. And said, after the tip, it is nothing but the shaft. So thank you much for starting with the tip. Appreciate it. Brianna Calkins threw in $10. Says, got my stimulus check today. Stimulating for all y'all, making everyone watching smile. Thank you again. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Thank you very much, Brianna. We do recommend you save the rest of that check. Jason Benicki Critchlow threw in $10. Said Thursday show, big shout out. Thursday show. What?
That's tomorrow. Isn't that our special fundraiser show?
That's tomorrow. Yes, but that's not. That's a private show. It says
Wait,
big shout out for Todd. No, because the rest of it is big shout out for Todd McComas for letting me know about this show. I think that person just doesn't know the laws of time and space, which is understandable given the current situation. Adler threw in $5. Oh wait, that's an entry for the contest. And then Ellen Shaw tips $5 to Sara. Says, may as well give you my celery juice budget for the week. Damn. A child of a man who drinks strawberry milk and a woman who drank celery soda. I felt that set. So just Tyler Stevens throws in $3 for Sara. Says, good God, that was hilarious. Awesome. And then a huge one from Z Bunster, the patron saint of our show, the Bunst, who throws in $200 and says, in honor of Jackie Robinson Day, much appreciated, Bunst. Jackie Robinson, personal hero of mine, and hero of my dad's. So thank you much appreciated.
Wow, thank you, Bunster. Amazing.
Thank you.
That means so much to us. Thank you so very much.
Rachel, what do we got?
Rachel.
Yeah, we've got some stuff coming in on YouTube too. So tips for Sara, we have Julia Sullivan on Facebook, gave 50 stars. She had Heather Scott on YouTube, $7, and said it depends on the gloves, Sara. We have Nathaniel Crawford tipped Sara $5 and said, Sara, I hear a lot of white noise from the house next door. Duntalk tipped $5 and said, bone broth is going to haunt my dreams.
But if you do get bone broth, please make sure it is Jamie Kennedy brand bone broth. Sponsorship of the show. It is
happy to give it to you.
Water.
They'll ship some right to you.
Pool water from Jamie Kennedy's pool. Jamie Kennedy's brand bone broth. That is such a hard thing to say.
It's really not that hard. It just makes you flustered, Steve.
Look, I've lost all my powers from my hair.
We have a couple more tips for Sara. We've got Jeremy Day, $5 for Sara, brilliant set.
Thank you.
Lena Sutherland, $5. Thanks for the laughs.
Thank you.
And then Jessica Kibble, $25. Sara, for the most original background, that took effort.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Todd,
Yes,
question
sir.
for you. Because,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people have talked about, you know, the whole like good cops and bad cops thing. And I did a bunch of jokes on my last special about shitty cops, and people automatically would like get mad at me and just be like, oh, you're saying all cops are shitty. I'm like, no, some cops are shitty. Like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that as one of what I assume? Look, I've never seen you police, but I assume you were a good cop.
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with that?
Well, it was easy. I was undercover, so I'd just sit around and be like, "Yeah, I think cops are shitty too," and then just
And then they were like, show me your dick. And you're like, all right.
okay, I can make fun of cops now. I'm not one, right? Hey.
Yes.
Todd, I want to talk a little bit about, so we all saw Tiger King, or most of us saw Tiger King in the world, and then
Yeah.
you got to go interview the guy from Indiana. So one of the guys from Tiger King is from Indiana, and you're like, fucking, I'll tweet him, and just went down and did a documentary about that dude. How'd that come about?
Yeah, Tim Stark, man. Well, we were covering Tiger King like the rest of the podcast universe on Dockheads, and I was like, I'm going to reach out to this dude. He only lives an hour and a half from me, and he was my favorite character on the show, just because he had that way of just tearing people down with his words. And I was like, all right, let's go see him. And he was up for it. I took a film crew. We stayed there all day. I held a bunch of monkeys and watched the baboon shit all over his recliner. And it was awesome. Like you don't realize how vulnerable you are until you're in a room with the doors shut with a 9-year-old baboon, because you're like, this baboon could kill us all in all of 3 seconds, and we're just gonna have to sit here and like, yeah, Tim, you're awesome. You're hilarious. I'm like, I'm not gonna laugh. He has a fucking killer baboon on his lap. We need that for our sets. If we all had a killer baboon on the stool, yeah, we would do so much better.
That is why they are named baboons. That's exactly why God named them baboons, because they're bad ass creatures.
Yeah, they are. And Ben, they
logic.
They
Agreed.
shit nonstop. Like he did 3 segments. He did one segment that was an hour long with 3 spider monkeys on him, one with an owl on him that was an hour long, and one that was an hour long with this baboon. And I'm not kidding. That baboon, it was just 1 hour of constant shitting. He just every time. I'm like,
makes for great footage.
Oh yeah. Like,
Sara,
diapers.
Can you see a baboon's butthole? Like, you know how you can see like a cat's? I know that's a weird question, but it just popped up in my head.
You can see the baboon's asshole because their asshole's actually on the outside of their body.
That's what I was wondering. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
But they also have a bumper sticker next to it that says, if you can see this, you're driving too close.
Isn't it weird? Since we're talking about this, maybe I can get the Isolation Nation's opinion on this. I contend that I was never able to see my dog's butthole. My girlfriend disagrees, and he got like a particularly close cropped grooming a few months ago, and then all of a sudden I could see it every day. And is that just because they cut hair out they shouldn't have cut? What's happening?
Yeah, probably.
You gave your dog a Brazilian. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
With hair now at all. It's pretty incredible.
Don't let Carol Baskins hear that shit. Yeah.
Wait, where'd I go?
She won't collect the life insurance money until 5 years and a day after, so you'll be fine.
What happened to me?
Todd, I have a question for you. Along the lines of the great tip you gave us about asking police officers to show their private parts to us to know if they're a cop or not. Can you end for once and for all the great question? If a cop's undercover, if you ask them if they are a cop, do they have to tell you or not?
No, you can lie your ass off. That's just part of it. Yeah. Everybody thinks that too. Like, it's so easy to be undercover because they all think they have this secret formula, and they're like, hey, if you're a cop, you have to tell me. And I'm like, duh, yeah, the whole world knows that, bro. And so and I show my dick anyway. So Also, the only way to get 50% off of McDonald's for being a cop.
Yes.
Have your ID? Here's my dick.
Yeah. By the way, we got another $5 from Brianna Coggins. It says, "Thanks for pronouncing my name correctly 2 days in a row. Much appreciated. That's why I used Venmo'd that instead of super chatted, so I would read it instead of Rachel."
All right.
Ronald Rhodes threw in $5. Says, "Thanks, Todd, for the heads up on this, and we'll need to watch the old ones too. I assume the old ones of his." Yeah, and then also Dave Adler threw in another $1.80 and said, "Hey, everybody!" So much appreciated to all of you guys for supporting the show.
I think we need to make a super cut edit of all of Rachel's responses to our trash talking her. It will be her being like, "Fuck off, fuck you."
Just one of her as a PETA. By the way, if you do want to buy the hot dog shirt that is behind me, so that is the full shirt. We have it in baby onesie as well in various sizes. We have it as hoodies. Join the Isolation Nation. Show your pride. And it comes through the post. Never say of like, "Hey, you got to go support the." Usually, I'm like, "Fuck the postal service," but now I'm like, "No, we kind of need them." So you can get those at laughfromhome.com.
That's also why we decided to make sure the shirts were delivered through the postal service, was to support them during this time of need, and also that was the only option.
Here's the thing: if you want to know for sure if they're a postal worker, just ask them to show you their dick, and
They do. They are.
yeah.
Oh, you are a mailman.
Why they wear
Thank you. I will
shorts.
take that.
Yeah, with the UPS drivers, you don't even need to ask; it just hangs out of the truck.
Tough job, even when they're not showing you their private parts, because no matter what time of year it is, it's raining, it's snowing, there's a tornado coming, windstorms. They are driving with shorts and no door. You gotta hand it to them.
Yeah, my dad drove for FedEx, and it was just one of these things where I was like, "Hey, why don't you have a door?" And he was like, "Well, because it speeds things up if you don't have a door." I'm like, "It also speeds things up if you don't get fucking frostbite. You live in New York, get a door."
Yeah.
Like, this makes no sense.
That's
By the
such
way,
a
here's the thing for
management
Todd.
decision. Yeah. For that.
Yeah, is
I
it
love it.
cheaper? They like, well, we don't have to make the full truck. We'll save some money by having no doors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, we won't have to pay pensions because no one will stay here and work a full career because they don't have a door in their van. Yeah.
If you get a cold from having no door in your van, maybe we recommend Jamie Kennedy's Bone Broth for all your door needs.
Hilarious.
I've got some more
I will
tips
say this:
coming in.
after being the hot dog for a day, and then I made the hot dog video. The next day, I was immersed in hot dogs in their world for like a whole day. I don't think I can ever eat hot dogs again. It's kind of freaking me out.
Is an absolute
Believe
lie.
that for 1
You are
minute,
eating.
Steve. Yeah.
Can you not even see yourself? You're eating a hot dog right now. Do you not even know?
Also, there's now very few foods left that you can possibly eat, Bowers. So
I love also the idea that like Bowers doesn't give a fuck about actual animal rights, but as soon as he anthropomorphized hot dogs, he was like, "Oh my god, you're not worried about the cows. You're worried about what if hot dogs came to life. These have a family. They come 8 at a time."
Yeah, I named them all. That's the problem. I named all my hot dogs. Now I can't eat them. It's like lobster.
Hey, Rachel, what else we got on the super chats coming in?
We have another tip for Sarah coming in. Corporal Skyfall, 2 pounds, and said, "Sorry, it's not much, but you're so funny," from Sky, the UK.
Cool.
And then we have some generals to the rescue, $5.18. What is it called when you give on all 4? When 3 is a hat trick, wig whopper, hot dog flipper, cheese stringer, queen tortilla.
That's so that's like, is he taking a poll? I'm so confused.
I think so. I think he was just trying to flub me up.
Yeah, if you guys want to super chat with tongue twisters, we would really appreciate that. Here, if you guys want to
Speaking.
super chat with the most complicated character names from fantasy novels, that would also be great. If you guys could do that. Magic spells, maybe.
They don't even have to be that they don't have to be that complicated.
If you guys want to super chat with 2-syllable
Basic
words.
work too, absolutely.
Well, in that vein, we had Jeremy H. Tip $5 and said, we still want the game to be Rachel pronouncing words at some point. Sorry, Queen, but I told you we wouldn't let them forget.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. That's gonna
Also,
happen.
Rachel, that's a really weird one you just mispronounced. It's L, but it's not H, it's L. That's really weird. You just misread the letter.
It's not funny.
That was a solid. It was a good
The
attempt.
first name, I just couldn't remember if it was Jeremy or Jason, and then I would have been funnier with the lead in, and I got stuck in the middle, and it was a bad moment for me. And when you talk crap to somebody, don't fuck up your delivery. And I'm sorry, and you can super cut me now, Rachel. Tell me to fuck up or something. That's cool.
I love you, Ben.
Oh, thank you. I love you too.
Yeah,
We
Ben,
have-
I just want to know, is this your idiot test?
What am I biting into there? A lemon? Did I just?
No, it's
What's
actually a
happening?
lemur. You could do the research, though. They're close to each other.
I freeze frame very badly. Feel free, anybody watching this, to freeze frame or screenshot any moment of me, and I guarantee 80% likelihood it will be a very unattractive freeze frame, and you can upload it with hashtag SDSC and hashtag bleed freeze frame.
I've been screenshotting this whole show. I'm going to send a montage after it's done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But he means of his dick, not of you, Ben.
Yeah. I'm just proving I'm retired.
You can see how good a set is by you can see how good a set is by how many super chats it gets or how hard Todd is, depending on the.
Right.
All right, Rachel, do we have anything else, or should we?
We do.
Go to our next comic. All
Yeah,
right, we'll catch up and then we'll go to our next comic.
Okay, we've
And
got
a reminder also, the game is best cop stories. If you want to submit best cop stories.
we had a comment from that Lane boy and asked if we could have an honorable shout out to a 99-year-old man in the UK who's doing a sponsored 99 laps around his garden. His goal was 1,000 pounds, and now he's raised over 10 million pounds.
Wow.
Well, then no, he doesn't need shit from us. He's got 10 million pounds. He's fine. He's 99. You know how long it takes to spend 10 million pounds? Longer than he has.
Wow.
I'm not. You think that was me? All right, fine. Just leave me hanging. Leave me out to dry. I appreciate that. Funny joke about time. Hakuna Matata.
We're just saying this guy raised 10 million pounds. Let's not wish him to die until he gets done with his laps.
I don't wish him to die. I'm just saying that's going to take a couple of years to spend. That's a lot of money.
I mean, you shaved your head and you really became a hardcore dude.
I apologize. That wasn't me. That was Remy from Higher Learning. I apologize. By the way, you guys were with me in the whole like, oh, he doesn't need any money. And then I'm like, yeah, because he could die. And you guys were like, oh, fuck, no, that was completely inappropriate.
Well, by the way, Rachel, I think he was raising for charity, right? Like he's not raising 10 million pounds for his old 99-year-old ass to spend on strippers. He's like trying to help people, and Steve wants him to die. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to.
I'm gonna put a hat on. It's my fault. I'm gonna put a hat on. I don't want him to die, and it's great he's raising for charity. You didn't mention that part in the thing.
That's the closest I've ever
people
seen
were
it.
giving him money.
Where is Steve as an egg when you need it?
Right here, actually, as it turns out. Here, hold on. Here you go. Here's Steve as an
There
egg.
you go. Thank
He's
you.
an egg. Yeah.
Hard bullet.
That's the closest I've ever seen Steve to apologizing. You didn't say that part.
Look, Barrett, you want me to apologize? I'm sorry you didn't get the joke. I'm sorry.
There he is. That's the Steve I know and love.
That's so Hofstetter. I love it.
I love now that during quarantine days, time is no longer marked by the traditional Roman calendar of days passing, but now is instead marked by which jacket Bowers is wearing. Today's Pac-Man Day, guys.
Yeah.
That is also something that we have said on the show before. But thank you, Ben, for highlight reel for us, and also for taking the bullet, because right there I was in the crosshairs. I picked up, and Ben, as nice as he is, was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you something that's so easy to make fun of that you guys are gonna forget about how big of a dick Steve was.
Let me just say
He
that
dove
with-
in front of the
my
bullet
turn to
and
reply to that
deflected it into
bullshit.
me.
Wait.
That's for it, Ben.
What? No, you first. What was your pearl of wisdom you were going to say?
I love how Ben dove in front of the bullet net for Steve and deflected it at me. That was very nice. Thank you. You're right. My jacket. I'm a dick for the jacket. You saved Steve. See, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're fighting now. Can we all take a breath and just decide that we're funny again?
Look,
you're very
I'll
welcome.
just agree that my joke about the dying old guy was hilarious. Can we all come together as a people?
Yes.
I think
Put everything behind us.
Steve shaves his head, and now, if you can quickly show the shot of him right now, this is now what Steve's comedy audiences will look like with the new look.
Yeah.
And we're back. All right.
My favorite part of that is that was the joke that Ben was going to do right away to shoot back at me, and Bowers was like, "No, I have to explain Ben's other jokes first."
I know. That's correct.
We were back. God damn it.
We still are. We still are. All right. Let's do another set.
Let's do another set. Let's do that. Are we ready? Okay. Next comic on the stage. Amazing guy. You saw him. He was a finalist. Came in third, actually, America's Got Talent, the last season of the show. And then also was in the Champions. Give it up for the very funny Ryan Niemiller, everybody. Ryan Niemiller.
Hey. Hi, guys. How are you? Awesome. Good. Yeah, I was going to announce my my new charity stream, but Steve might wish me dead, so I'm going to go ahead and just do jokes instead. I think that's what we're going to do. Bet on that. I wanted to start because I know that we were going to do the cop story thing, but I literally don't have any cop stories because I get pulled over. They realize they're not going to handcuff me, and they just let me go. Nothing ever happens. It's amazing. It's yeah, I'll get the hooker home safely. Don't worry about it, officer. I got this. Really fine. This is kind of cool getting to do stand-up from the same place that I watch porn. Closed. Oh, this is awesome. I haven't been too bothered about this whole Corona thing because it takes me half the time to wash my hands. I've been so damn productive. This has been amazing. Awesome. It's been cool getting to stay home a little bit. Obviously I'd rather be out working, but I was traveling a ton. I was going nuts. After AGT ended, just nonstop travel. And I have a reputation in comedy too of doing really long drives, 13, 14-hour drives to get to gigs. And that was getting pretty terrible, because you do 14 hours, you have to stop at public restrooms all the time. And public restrooms are just universally the worst. You ever get into a public restroom, you just walk in and you're just I think I'm just going to shit my pants. I think that's my pants. Given the circumstances here, that is the best option. Everyone at the wedding will understand. I was having some rough travel stuff, though. I was doing some work down in Alabama a few months ago, and I just stayed at a hotel, and I woke up the next morning with tics. I had a tick, in my back. That's something they don't warn you about being a road dog in comedy. Is that you clearly by looking at me, this is my video game collection here. I'm a nerd. I stay away from outdoors because that's where ticks live. So it was awful. I had to go to an urgent care and spent $160 to get it removed, which is the first time I've ever paid money to get something to stop sucking me. So that was nice. The one that's watching because they were a fan of me on AGT is like, oh heavens, no, this is not. Because I'm an idiot, I started dating someone right as this started. So I can just basically be quarantined 2,000 miles away from someone you just date, which is nice though. I think it's good because like when you first get into a relationship, you tend to be a lot more sexual, and there's no way I wouldn't end up with a pregnant girlfriend at this point. And like I don't want kids. Like I'm so tired of people's kids. Like it's the worst. Like that's been a nice thing about this is people aren't talking about their kids quite as much. No one cares. No one cares right now. There's a lot more things to worry about than your kids' soccer practice and how that's going. It's getting rough because when you don't have kids, like you're happy for your friends that have kids, but you can't relate in any way. Like I had a friend, she lives in Austin, Texas. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. She had a kid last summer and she was like, hey, Ryan, are you going to fly down here to see the baby? And I was like, no. I wouldn't fly down if it was my baby. What is the matter with you? Just to inconvenience your life. That's like an entire weekend. What is? I don't think I'm mature enough to have kids yet. I don't think I'm at that point in my life. Like I'm immature because like here, I'm gonna give you guys this little insight of how my brain works. I don't even have a full joke for this yet, but this is something I worry about. So like my friends are old enough; they're all starting to have kids. Great. What if, now hypothetically, my buddy, him and his wife, they have a kid. If that kid happens to be born with a disability, he's going to think I fucked his wife. Like, that's a real worry I have in my mind. Heaven forbid that kid's a ginger. I have to leave the country. He'll never believe me. Chance in hell. And the other thing I'm getting sick of too is like when people like everyone thinks their kid is so smart. Like everyone thinks their kid is like extra smart compared to other kids. Like, and that's not true because like even the smartest kid is an idiot. Like that's how that works. Like, and I'm living proof of it. When I was growing up through like elementary school, I was like on the advanced track. So I was taking all of these like advanced courses. When I was 8, I was reading at like a 48th grade level or whatever thing that they use as a metric for how smart you are. Like I was a genius kid. They were talking about, putting me into college early, all this stuff. And yet still once a week, I would still go outside and take a shit in the yard just to see why the dog liked it so much. So all I'm saying basically is everyone pump the brakes a little bit on your genius kid thing. This is what it can turn into, all right? I'm Ryan Niemiller, you guys. Thank you.
By the way, I think that is a genius thing to do. You're shitting the yard to see if why the dog likes it. That's a science experiment.
He was so happy.
Learn about nature.
He was so, because if you ever ask a dog, like, hey, you want to go outside? He's like, yeah, dude, let's go. He's so excited. Yeah. Maybe he's onto something.
I don't know. I've tried a similar experiment. Sometimes when I need to get my dog to pee outside, if it's raining or something, I'll go pee outside, and he just looks at me and goes, the fuck are you doing? He doesn't seem to understand. I'm trying to encourage him. He thinks that's my thing, bro.
What I'm terrified of, by the way, is that you told us on an episode, I think maybe even yesterday, that you just remembered you had a yard. So I'm afraid of where. That said, tip jar is open for Ryan Niemiller, one of my favorite comics. Ryan is someone who I've said it before and I'll say it again, almost impossible to follow, rips the roof off the room. And so I'm so glad he's getting the attention and the adulation that he deserves. Tip jar is open, top right of the screen for Venmo, or you can PayPal at laughfromhome.com. Or, of course, you can super chat on the YouTube. We've already got Patrick Daniel threw in $5. It says Club Nub, great set, Ryan. And then Erica Church just threw in another $20. It says thanks for the laughs, Ryan. So we've already got some coming in.
That's my sister.
And I'm sure more to come. Oh, that's awesome. And also, I'm in the woods now where you can get ticks. So be careful, everybody. Rachel, we got anything more coming in?
We do. We've got, let's see, Jessica Keibel, $25 and said, ticks, Ryan, I can't breathe.
Oh, the
It might
word
be
is
Lyme
the word is
disease. Please be
thanks.
very careful.
No, she said thanks, Rachel. It's
We have Jeremy H tipping $5. Ryan, great set. I'd give more, but I'm going broke from the SDSC. Honestly, it's weird to be interacting where I watch porn.
Just chime in really quickly there, Rachel. It's Jeremy L.
How bad.
Oh, see, you said the first one, so the callback would be funny.
That was the
That's
greatest
not a-
Yeah.
callback in internet
Yeah,
history.
see?
Yeah,
There
Ben,
you
way to
go.
workshop that joke over the last
Thank
7
you.
minutes when I was
That was
talking. It
brilliant.
really worked out.
also
Pretty strong.
watching. I'm also watching from where I watch porn, The Woods. So it's not weird at all. We've also got Tyler Stevens threw in $3, said for Ryan, OMFG, you killed it. I laughed so hard I drooled. Morgan Galaznik threw in $8, said Ryan Niemiller, we can't wait to see you live. Awesome, Morgan. He's live now.
Great point.
We know what you mean. I'm being a dick. All right. Sorry, it's the hair. What else we got, Rach?
So we've got Heather Scott, $7. Them. Are you going to come see the baby? Me. No thanks. I've seen one.
By the way, if you guys are interested, you can see Steve's new stand-up show. If you can cut to Steve real quick, in that shack in the background behind him.
Which, by the way, still going to be empty. Still going to be empty.
I think that you should never put yourself in front of a background of a woods if your head is shaved and you're very, very light complected. That's because everything about that just wants me to preface it with the word neo hyphen.
Like, because I'm the one true one who understands how that Neo, right?
Yeah.
This is, you're Neo Hofstadter. You're a Neo Hofstadter right now.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. How about this? Is this more appropriate for someone who's bald, who's got his head shaved? Is this a
That's
better
way
one?
better. That's way better. I feel like you're getting ready to figure some shit out. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Hold on. What
the
about
manifesto shack though? That was really
Yeah.
an old
What about
rusty
this?
typewriter in there.
This is now me in my lair. How about that?
And you can
I'd
also
watch-
tune in to our new live streaming show starting every Thursday from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. It's called Steve Hofstadter's Fun with Photos. It's going to be really great.
Steve's a background comic now. He's a background comic. That's what he does.
I'm trying to get background work in this business for years. Finally got it working.
All right. I'll change the background back to Bowers' last show.
Okay. I'm just
Steve, that's the
glad
same
you're
joke
open
I
for
made
it.
about you earlier, just for the record.
Yeah, but actually, no. This is an empty, smaller room.
That's a
Yes.
good point. That's a very good point.
I'm impressed he can afford
Very
to
good
rent all
point.
those chairs. That's very. You're doing well, Bowers.
Yeah. I'm not going to go to a 1,000-seat theater until I can fill a 50-seat room. So I've got 42 people to go. We got it. We're almost there. Let's do it.
Yeah. What else we got, Rich?
We have Carrie tipped Ryan $5. Ryan, funds towards your paternity test to show the little bloodsucker that you're not the father of that 18-year burden.
Nice.
Wow.
That comment
Does
comes
Carrie
with
think I got
baggage.
pregnant? That I got pregnant with the tick bite? Is that what? Is that what's happening?
How the tick became a superhero?
Yeah, he bit Ryan
Made by a
Niemiller.
tick and then had a baby.
No, a tick bit Ryan Niemiller, then it became a superhero. From Niemiller's blood.
The tick is an
I'm
actual
not on to
superhero.
I'm-
That is holy shit. So it's an empty room. All right. So what else do we have?
Lena
Guys, I
Sutherland.
think this has been a great run for 4 weeks, and thank you for becoming fans of our show. And good night, everybody.
Hey, final episode. All right, closing it out. I'm the closer, and we're
NBC
closing.
just announced they're canceling us, and we're not even on NBC. That's how bad this is. By the way, Emma Cook threw in $10 and says Ryan is the bomb.com. And Nicholas Hunt threw in $10, says, love Club Nub. Saw you live in Naples. It was amazing. Thanks for the laughs.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
We've got Lena
Awesome.
Sutherland, $5. Fantastic set. Thanks for the laughs. Dun Talk, $5. Great set, Ryan. Chris Jacobs, $5. Amazing set, Ryan. Amin Salah, $5. Ryan, people stopped bragging about their kids because once parents started teaching them at home, they realized their kids are actually not very bright.
By the way, if you are quarantining with your children and you're having trouble teaching them phonics, Rachel is available for tutoring via Zoom.
Rachel on phonics worked for me.
Yeah. Oh, Rachel on phonics worked for Ma.
Rachel on phonics worked for Chris Bowers, but he also does not eat fruits or vegetables and thinks pizza is healthy.
So I feel like that's a long tagline, Ben. But thank you for making thanks for making us feel better about. I bombed earlier, Bowers bombed earlier, and you were like, you know what? I feel bad for these guys. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm doing my next stand-up show in this room. Am I right, everybody?
I just can't wait to see how he calls back to that at the end. It's going to be fucking awesome.
So, Todd, we're doing cop stories. Do you have a fun cop story you haven't told in a minute you wouldn't mind telling our audience? A fun cop story? I don't put you on the spot, but you have a million fun cop stories, right?
Yeah, man. I kind of I wasn't the perfect cop, so that means I have all kinds of great stories. Probably my favorite one, because I like all the ones where like it probably should have caused me to die but didn't. Those are the funniest to me. So when toward the end of my career, they put me on this newly created team called the Fugitive Apprehension Team, and all we did was track down fugitives. So it was me and a bunch of young dudes, and I kind of looked up to the young dudes. Like, I needed to know what was cool about police work at this point, right? I'd been hidden away undercover and in a wiretap room for a long time. I'm like, oh, what's cool in the world? And I would see, new holsters they would wear and shit. And I'm like, that guy looks cool. I should go get me one of those. Well, everybody on my team had ankle guns, and I was like, well, I should probably get me an ankle gun. It looks pretty cool. So I went out and I got an ankle gun. Now, I didn't have a holster for this little 38 that fit it precisely, but they had one for a 380, which is a similar size. I was like, I'll take that one. Velcro's in your ankle, and I do it. Next day, we go to work, and we have the briefing, and they hand out all the warrants for the day. And there was 3 of them, and I was like, all right, well, this is a big day for me because the first warrant was for a trailer, and I was our door kicker. And I'm like, trailers are big days for door kickers because doors go way easier than regular doors. You just look so much better at kicking doors than you really are, right? Because there's less infrastructure. So I'm like, oh, feeling good. And I got, the new ankle gun on. I can feel the weight of it. I have a little extra confidence. I'm like, oh, if I lose the main gun, no big deal. Boom, got a backup. So I'm good. So I'm feeling really good about the day. 6 a.m. we hit the first target, and it's a trailer. And now I didn't know which leg to put the ankle gun on because I never really had to negotiate that before. So I'm a right-handed shooter, so I went outside my right ankle, and it was a mistake because I also kick with my right leg. And so when it came go time, I kicked this trailer door. And I mean, Ben, best kick of my career. Like, I could not have hit it cleaner. Like, you hit something so hard, you don't get the impact. Like, that clean, I hit it. So I hit it so hard that my leg hyperextended and my knee locked. And the ankle gun holster came loose with the Velcro, and it was not made for that gun anyway. So both the holster and gun go out from the leg of my pants, and the gun goes sliding across the linoleum floor into the trailer right at said bad guy. And also,
oh my God.
If you're watching, you were my team leader, verify this. So so hard also that the door swung back and it hit the wall behind it, bounced off, came back and shut to right in my face. So now I'm like, oh, holy shit. And I got a team of 5 guys like pushing, like, go, 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 we gotta go, because speed's everything when you enter a door. And I'm like, you guys just fucking wait. There's a gun in there. And my sergeant's like, how do you know? I was like, because it's mine. So finally we hit the door and we go in as fast as we can, and luckily the bad guy was like laid down in the prone position on his stomach with his hands behind his head, and he looked up at me and he's like, yeah, I ain't falling for your gun across the floor bullshit.
Oh.
That's probably my favorite memory ever.
That's incredible. What a
I actually have
that
a
is.
picture of Todd's fugitive recovery team. If we could just show that picture real quick. That's,
my hero, Tommy Lee Jones.
on Fun with Photos tomorrow from 2 to 5 p.m. or whenever the fuck it was.
Sanders doing stand-up. I want you to search every doghouse, outhouse, and backwood cabin in this territory.
Yeah, if you need help finding the outhouse, here you go.
Perfect. You just zoom in on that?
You can't zoom in on the thing.
That's how you zoom. It looks closer.
I was thinking that's where we keep the C4 in the outhouse.
Yeah. No, but Todd slides it across the floor of the outhouse just so that they can get it.
Do we have any contest entries? We start contest stuff since we're probably maybe a little longer stories.
Can we catch up?
Yeah, let's catch up. Let's catch up on some more chats. We've got Venmo. Carlin Sander threw in $10. Says sat next to at Cripple Threat 8, which is Ryan. That's Ryan's social media, on a plane in SLC and learned about his comedy show. Love his stuff. By the way, also good way to promote. Just one person next to you on a plane at a time gets you new fans.
The entirety of the first 12 years of my career
Yeah.
was just airplanes and truck stops, one at a time.
That's a step up from trying to make friends at the pilot station in the bathroom after the guy just destroyed it. He's like, hey, you want to come to a show once you're better?
Yeah. Kayla Burned threw in $10. Says, I knew that Casper didn't take those shits in the yard, Ryan.
That's my sister, by the way. She has intimate knowledge. I thought that would be embarrassing, but apparently $10 is my mark for when you can say embarrassing childhood shit about me. So thank you, Kayla.
Jan Johnson threw in $2.50 and says, just because Steve knew who the tick was, soon. So thank you much, Jan. I'm glad you got the reference. What else we got, Rich?
So we've got Nathaniel Crawford tipped Ryan $5 and said, I loved your stuff on AGT. I've been following you since I discovered you on the very first heckler clip of Steve's that I saw.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was my biggest credit for a while, Steve. So thank you for
just being on one of my clips.
I'm glad that I could make a lady homophobic in the crowd so that you could get 2-3 million views on it. So you're welcome. That was my gift to you, buddy.
Oh, that lady was such an asshole.
She was the worst.
Yeah, my favorite thing about that clip, by the way, is that like people. So I called her homophobic in the clip, and people were like, "How is she being homophobic?" And in the clip, she says that her friend can't be gay because he's a nice person, and people are like, "How is that homophobic?" And we're like, "That is what?" Yeah. So Ryan was in that clip.
We also have Razor tipped Ryan $5 and it said, it's for Ryan. I just woke up from sleeping off a migraine and now I'm feeling better from laughing so hard. But then I saw Bauer's jacket and my migraine's back.
Awesome. I mean, you know what's funny about it is during the quarantine, we've lost all track of time. Now the only thing that counts days is Bauer's jackets.
Yes!
Yes!
This is my fucking hero, bro. Understand this? That was brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Yes!
This is a clinic, Ben Glebe. This is a clinic, and I'm glad I can be here. See how it's done.
I just want to say that this is the crowd I'm playing to at my next show. Hey guys,
Ben's bit, Steve. How dare you?
For me.
Fucking nothing's unusable. Like Ben is the king of like reclaiming material and property, dude. I fucking love it. I love Ben. Always have.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it, buddy. Mutual. The field is mutual. Don't shoot me.
No.
Turns out with that, CBS has also canceled us.
He's not a cop. He's not a cop.
I am not falling for that fun dick bullshit, bro.
Wait, was that just a way, Todd? Was that just a lie, and it was just a way to get people to ask you to show them your dick?
Yeah, I just made that up right now. I made it up like 15 years ago before I did undercover prostitution stings, and I started that rumor. So
yeah.
So do those things only work if I assume you have to always be one of the prostitutes that takes the money up front. Otherwise, you really have to become an actual prostitute to finish that sting operation.
yeah, that's what sucks about it, I guess. I once said I did undercover sting for an undercover sting on some hand job parlors, basically some massage parlors. My buddy, he was the chief of detectives for this town that had an issue, I guess. And he called me. He's like, "Hey, can you think you can find me some undercover guys that would want to come do these jerk off parlors for us?" And I was like, yeah, it probably sounds like something I could do myself. I don't think I need help for that. To all of them, and you just listen in the parking lot. Well, yeah, it'd be awesome. So, yeah. But they go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I never even had to transfer money to any of them. Like from the get go, they just would do this. They were like, "You want this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how much?" And they're like $40. I'm like, "Oh, let me go get it." And they're like, "Oh, you can pay me afterward." There's such trust in the hand job giving community. Like it's experience. I have to tell you.
Look, if you can't trust the person who's asking for a hand job, who can you trust?
I know.
It's a crazy world out there. We got some more coming in. Katrina Fry threw in $5, says, "Thanks for the laughs." Kate from Aberdeen, Scotland. Thank you much, Kate. And then we've got a couple contest entries. Rachel, you want to catch us up and then we'll do the contest?
Yeah, we've got like 6 to go through. So we've got Peter on Facebook said, "Steve, that joke died faster than that old man will."
He says it.
Wow. They should win a hot dog t-shirt. Send them a hot dog t-shirt on me.
Ours, you know damn well you can't afford a hot dog t-shirt.
Now, this show's the most money I've ever made in my whole life. $5 at a time. It's amazing. I can buy 3 or 4 hot dog shirts right now.
Yeah. we gotta get Bowers a hot dog tuxedo jacket. That's the next step.
Oh, you need
all right, Rach, what else?
I also just have to wonder what Bowers' life was like before this show. Because episode 1, he's like, "This is the best I've ever done in comedy. I've never made mine like this before. I don't know what's happening." Like, what were you before? Just lay around all day, shotgunning beers and eating hot dogs, doing nothing? Is that basically what your life was?
Well, that and I did shows for free around Hollywood for 1.5 years. But I would do shows for the rest of it's very accurate. Then yes, the shotgunning beers and waiting for it to be dark so I could go make no money to do a comedy show and get better. Hoping that someday I'd be on a show with better comics where people would pay us $5 at a time to burn Steve. That's been my goal this whole time. So
by the way, this is Bowers' crowd for those shows around Hollywood.
I'm not.
Also, how do you brag about burning a redhead? That's the easiest thing to do. Nature does that shit.
A strong light bulb will do that. Like that's not that big a deal.
I'll be here all night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. It's been really great having you. Thank you. Hey.
All right.
Holding the popper stopper.
Rachel, what else do we got?
We've got Hudson in Florida, $10. Thanks, Steve, for the show in Orlando right before this stuff started. Even my wife had a good time.
Oh, wow.
That is
A bit rude.
Even my wife had a good time. Wow.
We have Louis Tyner, $10. Not sure what I'm doing. Is this how I get my $10 Trump check? Steve-O, is that you?
exactly.
We had Frederick on Facebook give 200 stars. We have Jessica Keibel, $15 for Steve. Late start for me, but I did like your brick wall.
Thank you.
We've got Robert Edwards.
You know,
$2.
it's a hot episode when people are like, wow, love the background.
You had good energy.
You did
great background.
8 jokes about the background. Fuck off with your sudden making fun of them.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We got Robert Edwards, $2. We got a solid F off from Raquel. We have
Nice.
Louis Tyner, $10 and a laughing emoji. Chris Jacobs, $2 and a hot dog emoji.
Nice.
Greg Smith, $5. Oh, this is a tongue twister. Fuck off.
That seemed like an easy one. That wasn't too hard. You nailed it.
That's not too hard. So Greg Smith, the sixth sheep's sick. That's not terrible, right?
What was
Yeah,
it?
except all it said was thank you for the show.
What? Sick sheep chick? I didn't understand anything.
The sixth sheep's sick.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, good job. No,
I
Yeah,
think you
totally
nailed it.
nailed that.
I think you
Well
nailed
done.
it there.
Perfect. It was actually perfect. It was the best ever.
Six.
Yeah.
Amin Salah gave another fucking
Sound
tongue
like you were
twister.
giving some kind of prayer before bombing something.
Oh.
Too far. That may have gone too
Show
far.
does not stand by that joke.
Just around the finishing homeland, and I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Especially because he's about to bomb that 99-year-old man who's just trying to raise money.
The opinions of Todd McComas do not represent the opinions of the socialist
Yeah.
other Pearly his
No. When you're about to bomb something, what you say is, yeah, that 99-year-old man isn't gonna live long. And that.
Yeah, you say, welcome to the show, I'm Chris Bowers, and then you just bomb right there.
Yeah. By the way, Ricky Banning threw in $6.66 and says, here's Steve for a wig. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is about the value of the wigs that Ben showed us yesterday. Dennis Baird threw in $2.50 and said for juicy comedy. I don't even know exactly what that's a reference to. Might
Comedy
be that I
Juice.
look like an orange.
Comedy
Comedy
Juice.
Juice.
There you go.
is the vendor.
Oh, right. Is the company that I own. My apologies.
I respect that you
I don't know
avoided the
what comedy
plug.
Oh! I had hair.
He's, what? He's just so shameless in avoiding his own plug. I respect it. Like,
Yeah.
Next, someone's gonna be like, "I love the book Ginger Kid." He's gonna be like, "What does that mean? I'm bald now. I'm a new guy."
Now I can't write a book about Ginger Kid. I would have to write Chrome Kid. Like it's a completely different book.
Yep.
See, that's how you bomb, Todd.
You see, that's the point. People can bomb regardless of their ethnic background. That's the lesson today.
it is.
Yeah.
So bad time's not up because you got to end on that. Oh,
Yeah.
oh God, that was
What else? What else we got, Rach? Then we gotta do the stories.
We've got 6 to go through. Amin Salah, $2, another tongue twister. This one I think is easy. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Nailed it.
Thanks.
I gotta get a balloon background.
Done talk, $5. Rachel, we're all witnesses to this workplace bullying.
You're right. Rachel does bully us in the workplace a great deal, and thank you for noticing.
She bullies our ears anyway with her pronunciation. Okay.
Oh, now we're just being mean.
Jake
all
M.
right, what else we got?
$5. A contribution to the Hofstetter Fund for the Elderly Euthanasia.
Oh God! Damn,
Normally,
so
when I was
good.
embarrassed by something, I wouldn't lean forward because I would be so worried about the bald spot. But the whole thing's a bald spot now, so I'm not worried. By the way, you can get my new book, Bald Spot Kid, coming out soon.
We've got Jessica Keibel, $5. Steve, are you traveling the world every time you sneeze?
That's a reference to that's a reference to one of my clips, but also yes.
Oh, okay, there we go. Jesse Pitts, $5. I love the indie crew, Todd, Chris, and Ryan.
Hey.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
We've got Jessica Kibble a few different times, $2. Oh my God, am I supposed to be teaching?
That's great.
Dun Talk, $5. Ben's callbacks make me wonder, is this the absolute worst time to have Alzheimer's?
There's no better time to not know what's going on in the world, frankly.
Yes.
And then the last one before the contest, Jessica Kibble again, $5. Come on, Ben, you have an album sticking out of your head.
It's for the background thing. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
What? I don't get it.
It's it's your podcast thing.
I don't understand.
They say she thought it was an album cover behind you, and you were advertising things. It's a background joke. I don't know.
It was.
And now the
fun of your background.
Yes, now I love it.
She's
now
on
I love
board.
it a lot.
That's a good one. That's a good
She
one.
was actually Ben. She was making fun of your ethnic background, like Todd did
Oh,
earlier.
love that. Great. Thank you so much. Me and all of the Jewish people wish you happy Passover. Thank you so very much.
As a formerly Jewish person who's now a skinhead, let's move on.
Steve's next video is going to be called "Comedian Destroys Own Brand, Doesn't Even Match Own Logo Anymore."
Actually, I look more like my play button than I ever did before.
You call it your play button? That's weird.
That's a great name for it, actually. It's a pretty good name for it.
And it has 500,000 subscribers. So
yeah. This play button is not a cop.
We only got 13 minutes left. Let's do the contest.
Let's do it.
Do we want to go to anybody in our live audience?
Oh.
So we had, I think, Tony, right? If anybody
Katie had a story.
Okay.
I can share mine. Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
So a friend of mine and we were hanging out with this cop one time, and we got super drunk, and my friend went to go to this hot dog stand, like a street vendor, and another friend of ours was being this super sweet guy and sober and driving us around, and it was super cold out, and he was like, I gotta go find our friend that went to go get this hot dog. You guys stay here, it's cold, it's fine. And our cop friend stole his car. And so that guy had to then walk home in the cold and break into his house because he didn't have his keys. And that cop now has 3 podcasts. Todd, you want to talk about it at all?
Which also, by the way,
I wasn't a perfect cop. I'm saying, Ben, in my defense,
friend.
Yeah, Ryan. In my defense, I was blacked out drunk when I stole that car. So I don't even remember driving it to Bowers' house.
Yeah, which, by the way, the second you said our friend had to go get a hot dog, I'm like, well, Bowers is in this story somehow.
Poor guy had to walk like 3 hours to get home in the middle of winter without his car. And not only that, his apartment keys were on his car key chain. So he had to break into, no, he couldn't break in. He had to walk again like another hour to get to his ex-wife's house and wake her up to get keys to get into his own home. I ruined this guy's life. Like, it was the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Now, remember what I said about how, like, there's some bad cops, there's some good cops, and Todd's probably one of the good cops. And I apologize.
I love how in that story, I think his night would have only been actually made worse if he'd also asked you to show him your dick. Wouldn't have even worked.
Todd had been doing that all night anyway. So
now, in my defense, I would never steal a car blacked out drunk while on duty. I was off duty, clearly.
That badge means something to Todd.
Todd was busy chasing fugitives, and he's like, "I got to take my work home with me." All right, let's take a couple more stories. We're running low on time. We got a hard out because it's the Josh Wolf show.
Okay.
All right.
So some of the ones that we only have 3 paid entries, so that's helpful, at least from YouTube. We've got Shelly said, I got pulled over at 2 a.m. I had spilled gin on myself earlier in the night. Cop had me do the field sobriety test. I passed, and then he said he knew I was fine when I was bummed out that I didn't get to do the breathalyzer.
By the way, the breathalyzer is what he calls his dick, which is weird. So
I've got a quick one.
Yeah.
I was 18, and it was my first time. I went with some friends to the strip club, and I got pulled over leaving the strip club, and he asked if I was a stripper, and I said no, and he goes, well, do you go there often? I said no, and yeah, that was it. It was weird, and then he let me go. He didn't make me do anything else. Just wanted to know if I was a stripper.
That's just a cop on
That's
your
how
resume.
I greet most women, actually. Hey, are you a stripper? That's all I needed to know. Enjoy your day.
All right, we've got Fear into Freedom. A small town cop pulled me over, pulled a U-turn from the other side of the road, lights and sirens, a slow approach, just to tell me he likes my motorcycle.
Holy shit. Wait, is this a contest entry or was that the...
No.
Okay.
And then last one before contest entry, Razor had one. He said, when I worked security at Harrah's Las Vegas, the Las Vegas PD would do hooker strings in our hotel. This one hooker wearing 8-inch heels tried to run while the cops walked after her.
Oh,
So it's like Pepe Le Pew and that cat, where the cat's just fucking going crazy and he's just fucking floating on the thing.
All right. So Paige, Jeremy Day. In northern Maine, a cop I know was hunting in his squad car. Shot out his brake lines while grabbing his shotgun and had to call it into dispatch.
Oh shit. That's almost as bad as giving the perp
Holy
your
shit.
gun.
Yeah.
We've got Heather Scott. She was a female, 17-year-old, lied to our parents, snuck out, met internet strangers who looked 30. It was very creepy vibes. We got pulled over. They ditched. That ticket saved us.
Oh God.
Oh, holy shit.
So they
Too real.
they got to catch a predator, and then the cop pulled them over. The guys ran away. That's fucking good.
Yeah.
Nice work.
We've got a couple coming in over here. Dave Adler threw in $5 and said worked as a police fire EMS dispatcher. Deputy with a canine came into the center. We were having dinner. Dog came over sniffing around. I asked if I could feed the dog fries. He said, yes, I did. And the dog enjoyed them. And then also my fingers. Then the deputy says, oh, you're supposed to say easy. Thanks. Now you tell me.
What did he do to his finger?
You ate him.
Bit them.
That's actually my story. The guy stole my story. That's my story. Never wanted to bring that up again, but here we are.
This is someone Venmoed on behalf of Ryan to tell that story, by the way.
I thought it was sardine oil. You had sardine oil all over you.
Hey Ben, I have some quick advice for you. Like, not that you would ever do this, but let's say maybe you have a friend somewhere who thought they might want to like transport a large amount of drugs in their car across the country.
Sure.
Like, and this is drug dog related. Fill your trunk full of tennis balls. Throws them off every time. These fucking dogs love tennis balls. They'll lose their mind. Shit itself, have a heart attack and die because it'll just be overwhelmed. Oh, look at tennis balls.
Show the dog your
So
dick.
you can transport the drugs in the tennis balls. It's chasing the ball. It's a ball.
It's in your trunk. I don't know. Let's see. Ah, tennis balls. Oh, the dogs are
So Savannah Martin throws in $5 to the contest, says, I've been pulled over for speeding one time in my life. Asked him what I was supposed to give him. Then one of my tampons fell out of my glove box, and I handed him 5 expired insurance cards before he got mad and just literally got back in his car and left. Holy shit.
We've got
like
two
that
more.
just petered out there and
Yeah.
got and went to Steve's face just sad after that.
Oh no, I was reading more of the
Camera just
submissions.
stayed.
I like to read the submissions to myself before I read them out loud in case they like implicate anybody in a
great
crime.
advice.
So
Smart.
Maybe I should do that, and then I can learn how to pronounce.
that's a good. Yeah, what you do is you say it under your breath 3 times before you say it out loud. That'll help.
We've got Robert Edwards has 2 entries, and then I'm done on YouTube. So the first one, we got stopped when we were drinking weed. We had a giant knife under the seat, all of that. Elio says, go home, they'll get ya. And then his second entry is we were underage drinking. The cop came through the door. He says it was hi neighbor, but I think he meant my neighbor. It was my neighbor.
Oh, like his neighbor, the cop came to bust him and it turned out to be his neighbor.
I think so.
Oh, that is some small town shit right there. That does not happen in New York City. We've got a couple more. Christopher Capo threw in $5. Says I got pulled over going 80 in a 40. The cop says, "Are you drunk, high, or just plain retarded?" And then I said, "The third one, sir, didn't work."
Also, I hope that happened in 1960 because
Yeah, that's yeah, Todd, if you want to let people know what's offensive to say as a cop.
The R word for starters. Yes, I would say.
I was doing a callback to before, but we can move on. Don't worry. All right, and then Rachel, is that all that you have?
Yeah, that's all I have.
All right. So I worked as a convenience. This is Ronald Gould said, I worked as a convenience store, and one of our regular cops also worked security for us. But I walked home and found him looking around the neighbor's house. I snuck up behind him and scared him, like as a prank, but then he started to draw his gun to turn around and said he was half a second from shooting me. Yeah, here's a good idea, Ronald. Don't prank a cop with a gun.
Right? I'm gonna kill you! Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Be like, that contest entry brought to you by white privilege.
Right?
All right, so we get to decide who wins on that one. So Ryan, what's your vote?
I am going to vote for I like white privilege guy.
Yeah, the snuck up behind a cop thinking it would go well. That's awesome. All right, what about you, Todd?
I think I like the neighbor. Like the delivery. Sorry, Rachel, the delivery threw me off at first, but what a great story to be busted by your next door neighbor who you did not realize was a cop. I like that. I just like that.
Yeah, that's Todd is just fantasizing about all his neighbors he didn't like and how he should have just busted them up.
Kick their door in, giving them a gun, followed in there. Yeah.
I mean, I would have, but they all had seen my dick, so I could not reveal that was my dick.
actually a clause in his HOA.
Also the reason for one of my divorces, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm voting for the tampon that fell out of the glove compartment. That's my vote.
Good
All
one.
right, we got it's anybody's ball game right now. Glebe, what are you voting for?
First, I'd like to say that we are almost out of time on the show, so I have 3 pretty solid cop stories I will save for another episode. So there's a cliffhanger for you. Bowers and I are often on the same page when it comes to these votes. I loved the tampons and multiple expired registrations coming out because I many times have been pulled over and pulled out many expired registrations. I'm going to up my game to include tampons in the future. That's my vote.
And my vote was the person who shot his own brake lines out. But that doesn't break any ties. So the winner is confusing the cop by dropping a tampon and giving expired licenses and somehow getting out of the ticket, which is awesome. So Savannah, shoot an email to the address on the website, laughfromhome.com, and you win all the albums and a future ticket to the front row. We also have a couple of last minute Venmos coming. Jennifer Kofed threw in $2, says bummed I missed Ryan, and all of you tonight just wanted to pop in and say hi. Absolutely check out the replay on Facebook after. It's always available on Facebook later. And then Tyler Stevens throws in $4, says another awesome show. And Philip Wilson throws in $10, says thank you for the laughter. And Rachel, do we have any we need to catch up on YouTube?
Nope, all good here.
All right, excellent. So that said, Sara Weinshenk had to leave, but let's plug her stuff real quick.
You can follow her on Instagram and Twitter at Princess Shank and check out her podcast Shank. I've been on it. It's really very interesting, fun riff podcast, and her web series Stone Science. Check it all out.
Excellent. Ryan Niemiller.
Hi, on everything, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's at Cripple Threat 8, and hopefully on tour soon when this all opens up again.
Yes.
Let's hope.
Todd McComas, any plugs for us, brother?
Yeah, sure. It's at Todd McComas on all my social media and all my podcasts. All this stuff's on toddcomedy.com. Everything me is on toddcomedy.com. Hey, it was great to see all you guys again, man. I miss you guys dearly. This was really, really special. I want to thank you.
You too,
Absolutely.
buddy. Great to hang.
Great to see you, Todd. And please, everybody, go check out that Tiger King documentary. I know y'all are obsessed with Tiger King because it's in my mentions every 3 fucking minutes, even though I haven't seen it. And people seem to be angry at me like I'm less of a person because I haven't seen it. Money where your mouth is. If you're obsessed with it, go watch more about it on Todd's thing. So,
and let me just say, Steve might not have seen it, but the way you look now, you're a strong candidate to be a future husband of Joe Exotic.
Well, you know him. He wants my play button. So, Chris Bowers.
At Bowers Comedy, BowersAlbum.com. Boom, go.
Awesome.
Yes.
Ben Glebe.
A couple of quick things. One, I was just informed that my game show Idiot Test on Netflix was just the #3 most watched show on Netflix a couple of weeks ago. I missed it when it happened. So please watch it so they will hopefully pick up more seasons. That would be awesome. And I also wanted to announce right now 2 things. A Nowhere Comedy Club show we just added is Brad Williams. The hilarious Brad Williams will be doing one on April 24th and one on April 25th. The hilarious Greg Proops will be doing one on May 1st. And my personal announcement, I'm doing my own headline show on the Nowhere Comedy Club on Saturday, May 2nd. Please get tickets to all of it at nowherecomedyclub.com. And briefly, before I kick it back to Steve to start it over, let me announce the hashtag game for Twitter for the next 24 hours. Actually, tomorrow's Thursday, so it's 48 hours. Hashtag Taco Bell a person. We want you to Taco Bellify a person. Could be things like Sierra Mr. Rogers or seven layer Bill burrito, or perhaps Crunchwrap Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini. Fun stuff like that. So hashtag your posts on Twitter with SDSC game and hashtag Taco Bell a person, and we'll announce our favorites on our next show.
I'm gonna go with Burrito Exotic.
Yeah.
That said,
Yeah.
check out Ben's upcoming show at Nowhere Comedy Club. He was right. His next stand-up show will be in that room. That's 100% true. And right after this, starting in just under an hour, Josh Wolf is doing the show at Nowhere Comedy Club. We're so excited to have him. NowhereComedyClub.com if you want a last-minute ticket. Reaction. You know, Josh Wolf, he does not hold back. So can't wait to watch my self-esteem plummet. You guys have been awesome as always. Thanks for supporting the show. And we will see you in 48 hours.
Yes.
Thank you.